afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Committee on Veterans Affairs Subcommittee on Economic Opportunity hearing on federal contracting compliance will come to order. So now we'll look forward to getting the presentation from Sergeant First Class Sowash. Thank you for being here, and thanks for the work that you're doing. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairwoman, and the rest of the committee. I am Sergeant First Class Sowash. I'm a U.S. Army Reservist, and I'm sure you all know Army Reservists are also civilians with jobs on the outside. So I'm also Vice President of Business Development for Direct Employers Association, and I would like to share with you parts of the National Labor Exchange that actually focuses on getting veterans jobs, which is very near and dear to my heart. So first thing we do is we go to the National Labor Exchange, and we've got areas of interest, or you can actually just come over here to the actual veterans JPEG, and it'll take you to our Vet Central site. Now this site is focused on being able to help veterans to find jobs, and also to be able to single out federal contractors for veterans. You can search via keyword, which is very common on the internet. But you can also search, if you're in the military, you can search by your MOS or your MOC or what have you. So if you actually put in, let's say for instance, 63 Juliet, enlisted in the Army, I'm just doing open search with that. Then you'll actually see that that MOS actually crosses over and pushes out civilian jobs that are comparable to the tasks, or I should say the skill sets that that military person actually had. So as opposed to them trying to think of different keywords that would fit them, they can just put their MOS in, and they can see different jobs that focus on what they've done in their experience. As you can see, little American flags, those denote federal contractors, obviously, who give preference to veterans, which is obviously very important. If a veteran wants to only see jobs from federal contractors, all they have to do is press this link right here, and all that will show are jobs that are federal contractor jobs. One thing that is extremely important that we believe from Direct Employers Association is we actually we have the best interests of our member companies in mind, because we're a nonprofit and we represent close to 500 of the Fortune 500 companies. So what we do is we send the veteran, we send the job seeker directly to the job on the corporate site. So this allows the job seeker to apply directly to the company as opposed to a third party. And it makes it much easier for the job seeker to get into the corporate database as opposed to applying to a third party database. So again, trying to be more efficient and help with labor market efficiencies, as obviously on the other side of the ball, trying to get veterans jobs as quick as humanly possible. We back out to just the home site. You can see again, you can do any sort of keyword type of search. Look for mechanic in Iowa. And once again, you'll see the federal contractors jobs, and you can go ahead and just focus on the federal contractor jobs and click right through to the corporate site. This job is actually on the corporate site, so when I'm applying right here, I'm applying to that company. I'm not applying off to a job board or what have you. Do this real quick, and I'll actually give you an idea of the companies that comprise Direct Employers Association. And again, these companies, when America's Job Bank went away, had to get their jobs down to the local level so that veterans could have an opportunity to actually see their jobs. So this is one of the mechanisms that was used, was a web interface, was Vet Central. The main mechanism that's actually used is email. We email well over 3,500 different local veterans representatives and different local Wagner-Pizer locations with opportunities on a daily basis. So when a veteran walks through the door And obviously, if a vet rep have these emails sent to them on a daily basis, they will have new and fresh jobs available to them. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Very helpful. But let me just ask each of you a question related to this. Mr. Weidman, do you think it was a mistake to terminate the America's Job Bank? And what is your opinion of its private sector successor, Job Central, with the technical operations being conducted by Direct Employers Association and the website that they've created that you saw today? And then my question, Sergeant, is how do veterans learn of this website? So, Mr. Weidman, if you could answer first.
At the risk of reliving and reviving bad history, I thought that the way in which and the fact of ending the public labor exchange and America's Job Bank, given the number of states that depended on that mechanism, was highly irresponsible and a shameful decision and a shameful action. The transfer over, if you will, to Vet Central, as you can might well imagine, Madam Chairwoman, I keep up on a lot of stuff when it comes to economic affairs and veterans, and was not aware of Job Central and what their Vet Central and what they were doing in the same way. And I do not believe that it has replaced what we had at 15 years ago when we had at least something that approached an effective public labor exchange on a national basis.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. When America's Job Bank did go away, the employers mobilized to be able to create something that would replace it, especially with regard to getting jobs down to veterans at the local level. And I'm assuming after this session we'll have an opportunity to actually speak and get you a little bit more educated about the National Labor Exchange the way it is today, because there are actually more, we have 48 states that are actually participating in the National Labor Exchange, which actually is more than America's Job Bank had when it went away, which is very surprising to me right out of the gates with regard to uploads of jobs and downloads of jobs. When we created the National Labor Exchange, along with our partners NASWA, we actually went down to the state level and we asked them what they liked about AJB and what they didn't like about AJB. And that's where we started. That was ground zero for us in creating a new National Labor Exchange and actually creating relationships with North Carolina and other states and being able to understand what happens at the local level so that we can get jobs down to the local level and we can ensure that when veterans come through the door, they have jobs available to them. So I think this is actually more of an awareness for maybe this whole room and maybe even more that the National Labor Exchange is actually a lot bigger than America's Job Bank was with regard to participation when it went away.
Thank you. Mr. Whitaker, did you have experience with America's Job Bank? And what was that experience in relationship to now working with Direct Employers Association and Vet Central?
We had an experience with the America's Job Bank, and I think when it started, it was new and novel and provided a different layer and a different way of provide service to. But over a period of time, it lost some of that extra service that it could provide. There were issues with the America's Job Bank with funding and being able to continue because of a lack of funding and some commitment from a number of states and other areas to be able to keep up with the new technology and providing service as customers expected that and providing service in a very effective way. So when the America's Job Bank ended, there was certainly, when it was coming to an end, there certainly was a vacuum. And NASWA, as a representative of the state workforce agencies, was aware of that issue. And we received a number of proposals from entities desiring to replace the America's Job Bank. We selected Job Central and Vet Central because of their proposal, because it's a free service to the states. It's a free service to veterans, and we believe it's working very effectively to replace the America's Job Bank, and it's getting better every day.
Thank you.